What up? Tyler here for TarverAcademy.com, and I want to show you some stuff about subtracting real numbers, okay? Thing to keep in mind, real numbers, it's pretty much any number that can actually be like a number, okay, as we think of it. You're not going to get into imaginary numbers until later on, like Algebra 2 type stuff. You might touch on an Algebra 1, but you won't see it very much. It just means that it's something that doesn't exist in the realm of numbers, okay? So let's talk about real numbers, which up to this point is pretty much any number you know. All right, so we're subtracting real numbers. It seems simple, but you need to know some of the basic rules just so it'll help you in the future. It's something you won't even have to think about. So you've got 2 plus negative 4. Okay? We've talked, if you've seen my other lessons, we talked about adding real numbers. Here, this is addition because we're adding. So it's still considered addition, but you have a negative 4. What properties of subtracting numbers tells us is that whenever you are adding a negative, you can drop that plus sign, okay? So what that does is it allows you to say, you know what, that negative is more powerful, it defeats. It's like paper, rock, scissors, all right? This is the rock, and that's paper. See, that was good. You can remember that because it looks like paper. Rock takes it, okay? It's cool. Okay, so whenever you rewrite it, you can drop it because it takes it over. 2 minus 4. 2 plus negative 4 is negative 2. It's the same thing this is. And that's the property of like subtracting real numbers, okay? So keep that in mind. A way that people get confused. Say you had 2, negative 4. This is not the same problem. These are not the same. I'm going to put a... Oh, see what I did? Man, 2 for 2. All right? These are not the same because when you have the parentheses and you have a number that's like right next to it, that means multiply. So it'd be negative 8. Okay, so you're multiplying those two. Tu es muy no bueno. Okay? So that's not the same. This is because those two are the same because you are adding a negative. Negative overtakes it. You good. You good. Well, okay. So we want to look at, this is Tyler, by the way. Nice to meet you. We're looking at subtracting fractions, okay? This is like moving up to the more advanced level of subtraction. All right? So we've got 3 over 4 minus 5 over 12. Okay? First off, I can drop that parentheses. I don't need it. There's nothing inside there that changes it. It stays 3 over 4 minus 5 over 12. Now, if you remember your rules of fractions, I want to erase this so you don't get confused. If you remember your rules of fractions, addition and subtraction, to add and subtract fractions, you have to have common denominators. That means you have to have the exact same bottom number, okay? Now to do that, if they're not the same, you're going to have to multiply one or both of them until you have the same denominator, all right? We know 4 and 12, the lowest number that both of those go into. So a lot of people are like, 4, because 4 is, no, you can't. It has to be at least, the minimum number you can have is your biggest number, okay? That's just the way it goes. All right, so we know 12 is the smallest we can do. Does 4 go into 12? Yes, it does. What times 4 equals 12? 3. So I take both of these and multiply them times 3. I'm not changing the problem. No matter what I multiply this by, as long as I multiply both of them, I'm going to keep the same fraction. Think percentage. That's 75% or 0.75 of one of them. Doesn't matter how high I go. If I go 75 over 100, still the same number, okay? So I'm not changing it as long as I attach it to both. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. Then I'm going to subtract 5 over 12. The simplest way to remember how to subtract fractions, adding is easy. Just add across and keep the same denominator. Well, guess what? Subtracting is the exact same way. 12s are going to stay the same. 12 going to 12. It's like Steph Curry. Steph going to Steph. 12 going to 12, and that's going to stay 12. We don't subtract it. We don't do nothing. Because if you subtracted the two 12s, you'd have 0. You can't divide by 0. So kind of think that one through. You're like, oh, this is a weird answer. Yeah, it's because you messed up. All right, don't subtract the bottom. We want to just subtract the top. 9 minus 5 is 4. Now, can we simplify 4 over 12? Yes. What goes into both of these? 4. How many times is 4 going to 4? 1 time. How many times is 4 going to 12? 3 times. You just subtracted fractions, my friends. So we want to talk about subtracting a negative, okay? And let's look at it. We got, so 3 minus negative 2. All right, so we're subtracting a negative. We got a subtraction sign and then a negative right there. Here's the deal, and this is my phrase I always use when I subtract a negative. They're going to cancel each other out. You got a negative minus a negative equals a positive. Again, negative minus a negative equals a positive. Again, negative times a negative equals a positive. Yeah, that's from Stand and Deliver. I'm sorry. Let's talk about Tyler's. 2 wrongs make a right. It's not true in real life, but it's true in math. So when you do a number and you're minusing a negative, those two are going to cancel each other out, almost like fuse, like a Dragon Ball Z fusion dance. And it makes a plus sign. 3 plus 2, okay, equals 5. Don't believe me? Put it in a calculator. 3 minus negative 2. Minus, positive. Same thing works with multiplying negatives. You multiply 2 negatives, it's going to be a positive number. 2 wrongs, make a right. Not in real life, don't do 2 bad things. That won't be good. Don't do that. We're going to talk about absolute values, okay? Absolute values, or absolute value signs, are essentially 2 straight up and down lines, okay? It's not similar to anything in math. Like if you think about like, okay, here you got a plus sign. Take away the vertical one, that's a negative, it's a minus, haha. This is like taking away the negative. And guess what? That's exactly what absolute values do. Man, I just made that up. Pretty sure I just made that up. I don't think anybody's ever said it. I've never heard it. So if anybody else has said that before, then I came about it independently, no copyright infringement. So you got a plus sign. If you take away the negative, it's an absolute value sign. That's what you do with absolute values. They take away the negative. Remember that, folks. Okay, so essentially what that means is if you have like a negative 50 and you cover it with absolute values, what the absolute value signs do, it destroys that negative. So the absolute value of negative 50 is positive 50. Okay? Now you're thinking, oh, well, Tyler, I have a question. What if it's like a positive 7? Does that become a negative 7? Because are we switching things around? No. All it does is keep it a positive. Absolute values are like, it's like putting things through a rainbow. Like everything comes out sunny and positive and happy. All right? So it's like Starbucks Frappuccinos. No matter who drinks it, it's going to make them happy and positive. That's not as good as the thing I said earlier. Go back to that. Okay, so let's work a few example problems, and then you'll understand it and never forget it. Okay, so we got absolute value, 8 minus 9. All right, the absolute value signs work almost like parentheses. You know, when you have something in parentheses, you like work all of it out, and then you break it down, and then you do whatever you need to outside the parentheses. It's kind of like that when you're working it, and then the absolute values kick in. Okay, so we're going to work the problem like we would a regular problem. 8 minus 9 is negative 1. Absolute values are still there. Now, what do absolute values do? They destroy negatives. So that negative is gone. It becomes a positive 1. And then in the process, it destroys itself. It's like every good guy at the end of a sad movie. Okay? It just destroys. It's like Armageddon. And the absolute values are Ben Affleck, and the negative is the asteroid. So, and then it's just Liv Tyler hanging out. And Bruce Willis, he lived. No, wait. Other way around. Bruce Willis was the dude on that. I ain't seen Armageddon in like 20 years, so bear with me. Bruce Willis is absolute values. Doesn't matter. You haven't seen that movie at all. Okay, so let's do this one. Again, they work like parentheses, so we're just going to work this first. Negative 2 minus 3 means I got negative 2. I'm going to make it a bigger negative, so it's negative 5. Absolute values are there. Absolute values, they're going to destroy that negative, and in the process destroy themselves. We have a positive 5. All right, and then right here, we got the same thing. I'm just going to work the problem first, but I'm not going to forget about, looks like a TIE fighter from Star Wars. You may have seen that movie. So negative 8 minus negative 10. Minus a negative, remember I said in my last video, you minus a negative, it becomes a positive. So we got negative 8 plus 10. Absolute values are still there. We're still just working this. Negative 8 plus 10. The 10 is positive, it's bigger, so the 8's not going to be able to like dig all the way down. So it's like digging an 8-foot hole and then filling up 10 feet worth of dirt. You're going to be 2 in the positive. It's positive 2. And then we know, because I told you earlier, absolute values of a positive number is going to remain a positive number. Whew! We just got our learn on, ladies and gentlemen. Got our learn on. hey, it's me, Michael Jordan, Shoemaker. I want you to know that if you don't click that little circle there to subscribe, then you won't ever find your true love. That's a fact. It's like an email chain letter. If you're not 45 years old, you will not get that joke. Not important, but click that. Anyways, I'll wait.